Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Rebel Reviews. Today I've got a router on my review bench, specifically one from Asus, and we would normally be able to put a home router in a cubby or on a shelf. Hell, mine's even in the kitchen between the coffee machine and the stove. This guy, the RT-AC87U, probably needs its own shelf and maybe even its own room. It's so big. And it's big for a reason, because Asus has packed this thing with features. I mean, for starters, not only as the name suggests, you get 802.11 AC support, but you also get dual band support, meaning you can run 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz simultaneously. Then you've got a gigabit backplane through 4 LAN ports, but you also have a gigabit uplink port to the WAN, which means if you're running a serious fiber link, you can power that. Then you've got a USB 2 port for printer sharing or 3G, 4G backup, as well as a USB 3 port, which you can dump a hard drive into, and it seems you can make a time machine and back up OS X devices through that. But where this really shines is in the amount of software that Asus is throwing with it. You get things like quality of service, cloud backup through it, a VPN service, all kinds of things, and I'm quite keen to try and test some of those things right now. Let's have a look. In the box, you'll find obviously the router and 4 antennas, and for a change, a really nice power brick which looks a lot like the Asus laptop ones, as well as a black network cable. As far as the hardware goes, not too much included in the box, but like I said, most about the software and actually what's inside of the router is actually pretty important. The power cable is also really nice and long, probably about 3 meters, which is very useful when you're trying to wire these things. It's got a hardware power button and a hardware reset button, which makes all buttons better. So after you plug it in, you turn on your Wi-Fi, and you'll automatically connect either to Asus 5G or to just an Asus network. And from here, you just go through the steps. The one major annoying thing about the Asus is that it doesn't act as a modem itself. You can't connect your ASL line directly to it and let it do a direct connection. You actually need the modem to do that for you. That's very annoying, but I suppose when you have such a purpose-built device as this, which is mostly a wireless router, it's not completely unforgivable, but it's still quite annoying. Of course, you also give an option just to be an expert and do a manual setup. That's exactly what I'm going to do now, because that's annoying. And you expect you gotta change your password first, so let's make it a hard password. Right, so this is the first part. You have to choose what type of mode you want this router to support. Now it can either be a wireless router mode, which is by default, and that's kind of how any single standalone wireless device will work, where it plugs into the internet and all your users connect directly to it. The second option, which is a wireless AP, so an access point mode, it acts as an access point. So you connect it to an Ethernet backbone, and it will allow users to connect to it, and then connect to the network on the actual Ethernet. And lastly, you have a media bridge mode, which I can't test because you need 2 RT-AC87Us. Basically how it works is the first one acts as an access point, and the second one acts as a media server, which when you connect to the hard drive with media, it will serve that media to any clients connecting to the second wireless AP. Like I said, I unfortunately can't test this, but for the moment, let's just go with wireless router. Now let's run through its own connection settings. Since I haven't connected to a modem, I can't set up the internet connection part of the router. So at the moment, let's just go over to the wireless settings. Keep the name that. Let's change our network key. And now imagine it's going to reboot, save the settings, and bring itself up into full operational mode. Now I have noticed that it does take a fair amount of time for the Asus to boot up. Again, with such a big piece of hardware, it is time to be expected. If anyone's ever tried to boot up some server hardware, you'll know that you can quite comfortably make yourself a cup of coffee between cycles. Let's see if we can connect this one. Alright. Still super secret password. Alright, there we go. Now we are connected. Alright, so now we're connected onto the 5G network. And you can see here, there we go, on 5G on the MacBook. Now I want to see if I can connect to the 5G and the 4G simultaneously. So, there's my iPhone. And yeah, bam, there we go. Both are connected, one on the 4, and one on the 2.4, and one on the 5. So the next thing I want to see is, oh actually, so you can see the interface actually is quite nice. You can set up a guest network, get some other features like AI protection, which is a security function in conjunction with Trend Micro, gets just now. You can do adaptive quality of service. So what I want to test now is the adaptive quality of service. And just first try and see what happens if I try and flatten this network with a big copy. So you can check, you can do a real-time traffic analysis, see what's actually happening, or you can check what the bandwidth monitor is on the actual internet line, which is down at the moment because it doesn't exist. But let's check out this, and here I'm going to copy over a 700 meg file from my media server, and at the same time I'm going to set ping to my media server to see how it impacts the timing at all. You can see there it's coming out at 44 megabytes per second, which is close to the top end of, which I think is possibly the hard drive can write actually. You can see while the ping times increase slightly, it's hardly enough to influence network speed. That's pretty impressive. So one of my favorite features of this device is the guest network. And you often come around, people ask you, oh, can I jump to the Wi-Fi and download some stuff? Or, you know, I always hate giving up my Wi-Fi key, or I need to preemptively change my Wi-Fi key, give them a dummy key, and then when they leave, change back again. The Asus router makes it a lot easier, giving the option to set up 3 2.4 GHz or 3 5 GHz guest networks. It's very simple. Just click on guest network, click on enable, give it a name, tell if it's open. You can even go up to WPA2 Enterprise for these. So the access time is how long it should be alive for. You can even disable the internet access if you just want to jump onto your Wi-Fi and stream something with the media server. And I mean, it's as simple as that. Unfortunately, there's a reboot function, so I was going to make a coffee again. Well, there you can see there's the guest network coming up, and if I connect to that, it should just allow me straight on. There we go, and no other connectivity needed. Alright, so what I try now is link it up into access point mode and see if I can extend my current wireless network and see how far this router's range really is. So to change the mode, we have administration, click on access point, say save, and then ask you if you want to keep the root IP address or let it get IP address from the new or from the current network. We share the same subnet, so I'm just going to say, yeah, stick to 11, and the default gateway will be that, and you can get your DNS automatically. Okay, we'll just get them then. Next. Right, we'll just cover the same things from the previous connections. And now we just wait for the reboot. Well, I'll set my iPhone up on the 5G network and go for a walk and see how far we can get reception.
So it looks about 25 meters through about 2.5 walls on the 2.4 gigahertz network, and on the 5 gigahertz network quite a lot worse than that, probably like 15 meters. So it's not great, but it's not horrible either.
Time machine backup, which is actually one of the features I was looking forward to using the most, is actually also really easy to use, and also works in AP mode, which I was quite surprised about. You basically just plug in a USB 3 hard drive, like I've done here. You connect to use applications, your time machine, just flip it on, select the hard drive, which is the only one that's plugged in at the moment, and you can say how much space on the hard drive you want to allocate to time machine. You apply, and that's it. You're in for a reboot though, so one more cup of coffee. My MacBook probably about 5 minutes to find the Asus router and to realize it actually has a backup list, especially in time machine. So just something to keep in mind when using that functionality. Now lastly is the AI Protect, which you have to go back into full-blown wireless router mode. So one interesting thing about this router is that the 2.4 gigahertz comes up way before the 5 gigahertz comes up. So when you're busy doing a configuration like this and it keeps on going up and down, it's better to only connect the 2.4 and not even to connect the 5 until you are done with your setup, because probably wait an extra, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute for the 5 gigahertz to come up. Now we're back in full-blown wireless mode. Go to AI protection. You'll see you have some functions around protecting the device and protecting the user behind the device. So parental controls will be quite useful for parents trying to limit what their kids have access to. Specifically scheduling what time the internet can be used from certain workstations, and also filtering what content can be viewed. So if you look at things like this, you can say adult, and that computer cannot view adult, and it can't do instant messages or communications, and that falls under all of these options. And in theory, this is powered by Trend Micro, which is an antivirus company and a security company, and these rules should be updated by them frequently. If you go to the time scheduling side, you can say, okay, enable time scheduling, and same story. Alright, don't allow that for that MAC address. Management. Edit, you can say, okay, you can only use those blocks. It's okay, right now. On the net protection side, you can do a scan of the router, which doesn't really do much, so that's useful. But you have a malicious site blocking and vulnerability protection, so it leverages off what Trend Micro provides from an intelligence point of view, and will in theory notify and protect you when you connect to a malicious site, similar to what Google does with the the site that has displayed malicious behavior. And then on the third option here, this infected device protection, that will check for any traffic leaving your network that is going to a command and control server that's being used by a bot, or if you have a piece of malware on your machine that's trying to connect out, this thing should alert you of that. Again, it's only as good as what is provided by Trend, but Trend's a pretty good company, so yeah, I think I would actually trust that. And there you have it. There's a lot of things to like about the AC87U, particularly its management interface, and the fact you can connect 5 GHz and 2.4 GHz at the same time and stream things without impacting other channels really makes it a useful router in a home environment. The range was not as great as I thought it would have been, but that's in South Africa where we have thick walls, so take that with a pinch of salt. And it is still quite a big thing, you know, with the arms up and aerials going, it takes up a lot of space. But I mean, for that you get a lot of functionality. Also, these front mount USBs, not particularly great, but it's also not absolutely horrible either. But yeah, I actually really like this router, and I would actually recommend it. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below and I'll try and get back to them. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.